Hey, so my SCX24, I'm just going to go over some mods I did to it that I haven't seen anybody else on YouTube do. Maybe I'm wrong. Don't criticize me too much. I'm a newbie at this, and I just got this truck like 2 weeks ago. But what I did is, I put some stuff on here that's obviously just cosmetic, the hood scoop and the winch. The winch I actually made out of Christmas ornaments that I found and recycled. The flag is more functional because I can see when I drive behind stuff. I can still see my flag driving by, so it's functional. It's just a brake cable I cut off a bike, and then I drilled a hole in the bumper, and then I braced it against this brace right down here, if you can see it. I glued it against that brace with Gorilla Glue, and it's flopped over 100 times and never came off, so it's been fine. Some of the other things I did on the inside were my lights. I moved them out of the bumper because it was like every time the truck was coming at you, it would like blind you, unless it was at a different perspective, I guess. But if it was coming at you, it would always blind me. So what I did was I took the lights out of the bumper and I moved them back underneath the body mount support. And what that does is I also put some tin foil up there on top there. What that does is it puts the light down by the wheels where you're crawling. So instead of you having the light shining in front of the truck, you can actually see what's underneath the tires. So I'm gonna try and make a little demonstration here for you if I can. I don't know. I've never done a YouTube video. This is my very first run, so I don't know how to turn off a light, obviously. Okay, we'll just move it over here like that, and then but you can see the light is now, it's kind of functional. It stays underneath the wheels here. So I can see, like when I'm crawling over, if I'm in a dark spot or a dark area, I can see it. I don't need to see what's in front of me per se, like 5 feet. I need to see what's underneath me. So I did that. Obviously these things you can do for free. I just pulled them out, bread tied them here. I cut the post off, put a magnet here. On the top, I actually got an old key fob battery because it was a little heftier and a little weightier, and I stuck it to the top just to give me a little bit more weight. The other thing I did was I took a piece of bar that I had. It's just I don't know how heavy of bar it is. It goes all the way across, as you can see, and it's just, I got it in there with bread ties. Let me get the light back over here where you guys can see what I'm talking about. I just got it like with bread ties tied in there. One side's black, and then have any black one side. It switched back to white, and there's white, and that added more weight over the axle. The other thing I did was I took the battery tray off, and I mounted another one underneath there. You can see it there where I mounted it, and it gave this thing a lot better capability when it's crawling. Just adding those two pieces of weight to it. I did take the shocks off. I stretched out the springs to give it more travel, and you guys don't criticize me for this, but I'm trying. So I like to experiment. I'm like a mad scientist. Everyone does it their way. I like to try stuff to see if I can make it work other ways. But instead of filling the shocks with oil, because I heard that after 3 or 4 runs the oil just drips out anyway and it's gone, or with grease rather. I filled it with don't laugh at me, filled it with Vaseline with cocoa butter. And here is my theory. My theory is that the Vaseline might last longer in there than the oil, and if it drips out, it's not going to be a problem. But the other thing is that I'm hoping that the cocoa butter leaves like a film inside of here, and that film will act like a dampener. That's my hope. I don't know. I have to kind of play with it and see what happens. I've ran it probably 10 times since, and it's still, it's still reacting like it's dampened, and you know, I can zero in on the shocks and you can't really see anything dripping out of them. So, you know, so that's my theory. I'm hoping that I'm correct on it. If not, then I'm just going to probably upgrade to the Charisma shocks anyway. But those are some things I did to my rig that you can do that cost you nothing. You know, if you don't have a piece of bar to put in there, you can always just get you a really hefty bolt and, you know, cut off the end of it, and maybe even put a couple of nuts on each side of it for weight, or just put the bar in there. I'm gonna paint this black so it just blends in with the frame, and the other bar you can't even see. You just can't see underneath there. And again, it's the same length as this one, so it fits underneath the frame. It doesn't interfere with the movement of the flexing of the vehicle. So, you know, on either side. So I didn't see that there's any big reason that weight can't be there. It does make it very hefty. The other thing is that putting the weight in those two areas really kind of balanced it out. I mean, it's a little front heavy because I've got some things on the front, so I have to adjust my finger, but the balance of it is not bad with the weight in there. I like a little bit of more weight on the front because it makes it crawl better. It gives it a better ability to, you know, go over things. Yeah. If you're looking for some really cheap, inexpensive mods to do to your SCX24 to make it crawl better without upgrading a whole bunch of stuff, I mean, you can get a couple of bolts and a, you know, hacksaw blade and saw them off for like $5. So, you know, bread ties, you can get anywhere. You know, these are cheap mods, but it makes this thing crawl like a beast. It really does.